First of all, thanks, and I would like to apologize our executive director that should be doing the presentation, but at the same time he's having a meeting on the stadium towards the construction of the project, so he couldn't make it at the same time to be in two places. So I'm Ramón González. I joined the project last summer to be the BIM manager of the club internally on the client side. One of the things that the Football Club Barcelona has been doing is to have a very strong internal team to be able to deliver the project in a very successful way. So the first thing, what is the project Espai Barça? Espai Barça is not only our main asset, that is the soccer stadium, is the two big complexes that we have. One is in the heart of the city, that is the Les Corts campus, that is where is the main sports assets are, and also our sports city in San Juan d'Espí. So nearly we have like 35 hectares that if you think on the center of Barcelona is like half a huge part of the example of Barcelona, like 8 by 8 blocks of the center of Barcelona. So everything for us begins on our sports city. That is where our kids and our young players begin to play. And as you might know already from the news last week, we are naming the stadium after Johan Cruyff because of the values that Johan Cruyff means for FCB Barcelona in terms of the creation of the young players. So this stadium is going to be developed on the sports city. It's going to be 6,000 capacity for an UEFA Category 3 stadium, and it's going to be mainly intended for our second division team, the Barça B, our junior team to be playing the UEFA Youth League and our Women's Champions League, but we are already trying to improve the pitch so they can also play the regular season also on the stadium. The opening of the stadium is intended to be on the season 18-19. So we are seeking to finish the project at the end of the year 2018. And the architecture team is a local team, very well known, that is Badji Roig. So we'll put.
Just 8.5 kilometers from Camp Nou, there is a new undertaking, the dream that is Espai Barça, a stadium that will bear the name of Johan Cruyff, a club legend who was the driving force behind our commitment to youth football and the style of play showcased by our team. An asymmetrical stadium with a bi-level grandstand inspired by the old Camp de la Industria, Barca's home in the early 20th century. A stadium with a capacity for 6,000 spectators, with fully covered seating and rounded corners to bring the fans closer to the players. A UEFA Category 3 stadium, modern and efficient, accessible and sustainable. Great sightlines from every seat. Highly visible when approaching the city from the south. A stadium that transmits and reflects Barca's history and values, where the dreams of our youth players will forever grow. Johan Cruyff Stadium, where Espai Barça begins. A dream open to everyone.
Now going to, we said that the dream comes true. That is our main campus on the center of the city. So our current status in the campus is we have three main assets, sport assets. We have the Camp Nou Stadium for 96,000 people. Then we have the Palau Blaugrana that is holding nearly 8,000 people. And also aside to that is the ice rink. And then we have the actual mini stadium where the second team is playing. So the idea is to have like kind of domino. So we are putting the Johan Cruyff Stadium on the Sports City, so we can liberate the space to begin to have the final configuration. That is where the mini stadium sits. It's going to be the new Palau Blaugrana, where the Palau Blaugrana is sitting actually nowadays we are going to be having the new headquarters. Also, we are going to have a third-party development for a hotel and offices buildings, and then we are having the masterpiece, that is the upgrade of the Camp Nou to 105,000 spectators. So the main piece of the campus is going to be the No Camp Nou. It's going to have a new roof, a membrane roof that is going to be covering everything, not just only as we are having now the main tribuna. One of the main upgrades that we are having is we are putting new 12 vertical circulation course, because in the intention to upgrade the building and to make the building bigger, we need to demolish all the ramp paths that they have around the stadium. So one of the main things that the winning proposal is opening the stadium to the city. So that was one of the main values that the club liked from this project, and one of the reasons that it was the winner project, that all the building is open to the public. So we are going to absolutely upgrade the new VIP and hospitality spaces. Even we are going to be in percentage one of the lowest stadium on the world in VIP in this kind, because we have our own fan supporters. That is the main value of the club, so we are not moving them aside from the stadium. And the winning architects are Nick and CK with a local partner that is Pascual Auxio Architects, and I will show you some images. That this was one of the most powerful images from the project that we explain later with the campus. All the campus is going to be open to the public every day. We are taking out all the barriers with the city, so there is not going to be any more a fence surrounding our campus in the city. Is going to be a public space for everyone, and also the terraces is going to be a public space for everyone on every day. This is also one of the main assets that we are going to have on the project. That is we are calling the Sky Rambla. If you have gone to the Plaza de Toros en Las Arenas, it's something similar, and we are also intending that to the people that came to visit non-match days the stadium and to grow the activity in the campus on non-match day. This is one of the images that we are seeking to have in the interior of the stadium.
Being a Barca fan is the best there is. It's such a special feeling that it deserves a new stadium that can hold all that passion for colours. A stadium that's open to everyone, to the city and the world, and that respects those of us who have always been here. Stadium that will hold more than 100,000 supporters who have the most admired team on the planet in their hearts. Where Barca passion will be heard louder than ever. This is where we want to carry on making history. And this is where we want to carry on making the whole world dream. New Camp Nou, a dream that's open to the world.
Then the second big piece that we are having on the campus is the No Palo Blaugrana. We were having already struggling on basketball competitions because we have been requested to have a facility with more than 10,000 people. So we are in zone for this kind of events, upgrading our main arena to be able to hold 2,000 to 12,000 spectators, and also in concerts to begin to be having a new kind of asset in the city, to be holding concerts that they need a smaller facility than the Palau Sant Jordi. So we are not actually intending to compete to the Palau Sant Jordi, but to offer to the city another facility that can hold also other kind of size of events. We're also having an additional new auxiliary court, so the matches that they cannot hold, they cannot fill up the full arena, we can have a more condensed space for 2,000 spectators. We are keeping our ice rink. That is, for anyone that doesn't know, it's one of the facilities that is most used on the campus nowadays. Every day there are people at every hour on the ice rink skating. Then we are going to have on top of the auxiliary court and the ice rink two new football fields for the Escola. That is where the young kids are coming to play soccer on the afternoons. Then we are going to have one of the things that was the winning reason for the project is that we are having an asymmetrical stand. So we are having on the goals of the ball, we are having kind of a huge sitting rake, like other stadiums like Liverpool or Borussia Dortmund, for our own supporters. We are upgrading everything related, of course, in terms of VIP and hospitality services. And the winning team was HOK with a local architect that is called TAC Architects. So a brief video. As you can see on the back, this is the main stand for the supporters. Also, one of the big benefits that they offer to the club is to have a configuration of a huge auditorium. Also, one of the big challenges and big aims of the project is to be a reference in sustainability, and we are already being certificated as the first sports campus in the world in a center of a city with the DGNB certification from Germany, that we understood that it was the most adequate for our project. And we are having this as a goal for all the design teams to be aiming this certification for all the projects. So a little brief on the calendar of all these activities. Right now we are on the process of the pre-construction that I'm going to be explaining a little bit later on the Johan Cruyff Stadium. At the same time, we are already working with the design teams from the No Camp Nou and the No Palau Blaugrana. Ideally, we are aiming to having the finish of the construction of the stadium between 2021 and 2022. One of the challenges of the Camp Nou is going to be holding every activity, every single game during the construction. We are never going to stop activity on the stadium. And then for us in Espai Barça, it's not ending just with the stadium, it will be keeping with all the parking spaces that we are holding more than 3,000 square spaces underground, and also the headquarters and the overall finishing of the campus. So with that, how that's being fits on all this. Beam was shown by Barça as an opportunity several years ago. There is an opportunity to be able to accomplish all these projects in a better way. So we understand that the main thing is the value on the information. So for us, it's a way to improve our traditional way of working with the aim of reducing the risk and the uncertainty of all processes. We cannot be having jeopardize our sports activity because it's our main value as a company. So if we have any problem and we cannot hold a game, for example on the Camp Nou, the economical impact for us can be catastrophic. So we also intend to understand BIM as a way to communicate more efficiently everything that is going to happen on the construction. A way to do a rehearsal of what we're going to do. A way to everyone to understand what is going to happen. And at the end, we are using this graphic from Chuck Eastman that we wanted to be keeping up the flow of information and not having to start up our operational maintenance phase again from zero. We wanted to keep the operational maintenance once every asset is handed over to internally. We need to keep our teams to be operating and maintaining it just from the first minute. We also understand that the collaborative way of working with the models. For us, it's critical that everybody that is going to be working with Barça understand this, not to avoid any kind of problems in communication. And then one of the main strategic decisions that was taken like 3 years ago was to use OpenBIM as a long-term decision for the club, not to be relying on any native format, just to have everything that is handed over to have it on IFC with all the challenges that's mean, to be able to be having all the information ready at any moment on time on the future, because we understand that IFC is going to be standing forever. So one of the things that we are trying to implement with all the design teams is how we can do all the delivery of the information for the main 3 aspects during the design. That is the 3D coordination, all the 4D planning, and all the cost estimation. We have a really tight budget. That is 600 million. That was already approved by our socios, and we cannot move from that. Even if we would like to have more investment, we cannot move from that. So we have to be 100% that the project is going to be on cost. So we understand that the main thing is the one that is seen on the middle. That is how we already prepare all the standards internally in the club to do a proper classification of everything. That is going to allow us to link all the pieces. One thing that we also were trying to understand is with the different design teams is how they were proposing us to do all the collaboration process on the way. So for us, it's really need to understand which is going to be our ideal workflow for every project, because we have several projects running at the same time. And for us as client, we need to be everything to be consistent more or less on a similar way. any general planner that is working for us, they might have their own way of working. We need to be consistent on the way that we are working internally. And also we need to explain at the end all the things that we are going to be handed over internally to our operation and maintenance teams, how we are going to be handing over that information to them, and also how to educate them so they are able to use that information. Because it's not just only for us as a challenge to deliver the project, but to also educate our internal stakeholders to use that information. So as an example of what we are really right now with the Johan Cruyff Stadium, the general planner already delivered a complete BIM model on IFC. I will show images later as a deliverable of the whole process. All the quantity takeoff was almost taken from the model, from the 3D coordinated models. We handed over those models even to the construction companies, so that when they did the tender, they were working directly with the models, not just only with the drawings. So at the same time, they were able to check where there were misleading quantities or things that they understand that they can be done a different way. Almost all the construction companies that they were taking part of the tender, they were using the models to communicate their different proposals. So one of the things that we understood that we need to change from the traditional procurement way in Spain is to put this piece in the middle that we call the pre-construction services. Our internal team is mainly from international experience, and we understood that we need to put this process on the middle. On the Johan Cruyff Stadium, we couldn't put it in parallel with the design teams. On the Palau Blaugrana and the Camp Nou, it's going to be slightly on parallel during the executive project. That's one of the things that there are some people that is already having meetings right now at the campus today, because we are talking about the pre-construction services for the Camp Nou and the Palau. So one thing that the construction company is doing right now is analyzing the project, understanding everything that they need to change, they need to update. We are also running the internal approvals with all the internal stakeholders to understand, okay, this is what we are going to build. You need to certify that everything is correct under our internal requirements, that everything is correct, and you are okay with everything that we are putting on the Johan Cruyff Stadium. Because otherwise we cannot do that change later, because the economical impact is going to be huge. So say they are already, that's the reason that is slightly overlapping with the pre-construction. There have been already changes that we can implement right now before entering construction. And for example, one of the main changes that we are having is the locker rooms. From the design phase to now, the requirements on the locker room has been changed drastically. So now they need to upgrade the locker rooms to the new standards that we need, that 2 years ago were completely different. Also because of the technical teams, they are also changing internally in the team. So now that we have everything cleared on the pre-construction, is the only point that we are going to be entering in construction, with the idea not to have any kind of delay, any kind of change on budget, and we know exactly what is going to happen 100% on the process. So for us, this project is key, and even is possibly the smallest one that we are doing. For us, right now is the most important piece of all the project, because for us it's the rehearsal for all the big projects. Everything that we are going to be doing here is a kind of laboratory for us that is going to be happening on the other projects. So for us this is critical, that everything is going smooth, because if for us we are successful on this project, we know that we are going to be successful on the rest of projects. So this is, for example, what the general planner team delivered to us. That's the full federated model with everything. If we take the architectural layer out, we have the structural with all the MEP, and if we take out the structural one, we leave out all the MEP. This for the local teams here that they are all of them are from Catalonia. It was already a challenge to be able to deliver this project. But we think they delivered successfully, even that we know that they were already, because we have the full model, that we already have some clashes and some problems in coordination with the execution process. That now is where the construction company is helping the design team to solve, in the way that they are proposing how they are going to build the stadium and how the design team needs to change things all together to be able to complete the construction sequence. On the campus and mainly on the Camp Nou, on 2014, between the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, a laser scanning of the existing stadium was taken from the full facility, and it was produces a 3D BIM model on IFC that was delivered to the competition teams during the architectural competition stage. So every architect that take place on the competition, they already have a 3D model from the existing stadium on BIM, on IFC. So they can plan their design during the competition stage, having as a reference the IFC model. We are also doing on several stages a geoscan of all utilities on the campus, because you can imagine that we are going to be breaking ground on different places and we cannot destroy the utilities, because otherwise we are going to be jeopardizing all the activity on the campus. And that's part of the information that we need to have that is hidden on the ground. And we are compiling all those pieces on a 3D model of the campus to try to integrate everything. So we have as a reference as client, we have a 3D model with all the information of the campus, the existing campus, so we can begin to put all the different pieces on top of that. And going on every stage, on every phase, we are already planning a feasible study of all the other assets on the stadium. So we are already pre-designing which might be the parking, and we are already giving us an input. We are reading that as an input to the teams. So this is the images from the work done on 2014 with the IFC model handed over to the teams. This is what we also hand over to the teams. That it was the full bowl with all the seats of the stadium, for example. This is part of the work that was done with trying to coordinate all the foundation with the geoscan of all the utilities that are, in this case, inside the stadium, but also outside the stadium. And this is, for example, part of our internal work that we are already doing to try to understand all the overall process of the construction on the campus. The piece that you see there in yellow is the parking. It's 3,000 spaces parking that we need to coordinate with the rest of the works. There's not still an architectural competition on being holding now for the parking, but we are already having a pre-design internally to really put this piece on the overall process, because we cannot leave these things without thinking. And for example, you see that we already, in this phase also, we have the Palau already being finished, and we need to keep the existing one for operation. So now we are seeking the phase that we are beginning to demolish the existing Palau, and at the same time, because there are offices on the existing Palau, we need to think on time when it's going to be built the new headquarters, because at the end one thing that many people doesn't know is Barça has in the main offices more than 1,000 people working for the company as a whole. So we need to put these people working on some place when we are demolishing the buildings. So for example, then we are, one critical thing for the full operation of the campus is once we are going to be doing the parkings, we are going to be opening a huge hall on the campus. So we need to think that for every game on the stadium is going to be entering 90,000 people. So how can you make 90,000 people to go through a construction site? So this is going to be like 10 or maybe 100 times more complicated than the Sagrada Familia here in Barcelona, because we are putting that amount of people in 2 hours time. So what are our main challenges that we are having right now on the project? We are encouraging the design teams to be already producing basic 3D models from the very early stages. So sometimes this is a huge challenge for architectural teams nowadays, because many times we see the BIM model as a full thing that is delivered at the end of the project, but we are already requesting from the early stages. So even in schematic design, that we need 3D models to incorporate on our global plan. Also, we have the challenge right now to understand which kind of information we need really on the models, and when we need that information to be placed on the models. So we need to see beyond just only the 3D model. For example, at the campus level, we are having now that's an open question now to the summit. What is going to be happening, because we have the IFC as our data standard, but we know that still on civil works is still not going at the same speed. So for us, it's a huge challenge how we are going to be having all the 3D data and all the BIM data of all the campus when we are still having problems to put that on IFC. And also, other big challenge that the people many times doesn't see from outside is that we need to change our company internally. We need to change how the people is understanding the information that is generated by the different design teams. So this is our huge fighting internally right now. How we need to change the operations, how we need to change the maintenance, so they understand all the things that we are preparing and they take more benefit from that. So at the end, it's a company-wide BIM culture. So at the end, we are understanding that it's also a huge important thing in technology innovation for everyone, for the design teams internally, for the club to be able to hold all this information, and also this opened us to us. One of the things that was announced recently by the club, that Barça wants to be more than a sports club. We also want to be an innovation hub all around the world. So we wanted to upgrade our regular business of being a sports company to be also an innovation company. So coming from the experience that we were having in medical services and performance, we understood that there were many technology improvements that they can be applicable to other areas of our business. And mainly for us, for example, is the sports infrastructure. How we can understand this, all the upgrades that there is going to be on smart stadiums, that they are right now mainly focused on the user experience, but how can we transfer that knowledge back to the operation and maintenance experience? And also how we can improve the architecture for the future sports infrastructure. So this is open to anyone that wants to understand more about this. We are already having several European programs of research and development with different companies, also with many universities from Spain and from different countries in Europe. So also, if you think that you might have interest on developing things with us in these themes, we are completely open. So just feel free to look at what Barça Innovation Hub can offer you. So I would like to end with this sentence from Mr. Fuller, because it's more or less our main motto internally on the team, that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. We face many times that with BIM we are fighting the existing reality, and at the end we say, okay, we need to build a new model, and that new model will make the existing one absolutely and completely obsolete. So that's the only moment that the people will understand the new model that we are intending to improve on the overall construction work. So welcome to Barcelona, and thank you.